Okay, just want to update you on the Enoch Burke, the school teacher situation. The school teacher from Wilson's Hospital School in Multifarnham was jailed by the High Court for contempt of court, breaching a court order. I've made another video about that. You can have a look at it. This is an update. This is Wednesday, the 7th of September. I think he was jailed a couple of days ago there and led away from the forecourts to Mountjoy prison. The school applied then today to have the temporary injunction. There was already a temporary injunction granted a week ago, but they applied today in the High Court to have that made permanent until the disciplinary process in the school is concluded. Mr. Enoch Burke opposed the application. He could be released from prison today. He could have been released from prison today if he purged his contempt by giving an undertaking to comply with the injunction and stay away from the school pending the outcome of the disciplinary. On Monday, he said it would be impossible for him to comply. So he was led into the High Court in handcuffs today by prison officers for the resumption of the injunction application by the school where he works, Wilson's Hospital in County Westmeath. The barrister for the legal team for the hospital, Rosemary Mallon, who's a barrister, I think she's the senior counsel, she said this was not about Mr. Burke's beliefs but about his alleged conduct. The principal had expressed serious concerns about how he might act in the school in the future. Barrister Rosemary Mallon also said the case was in court because Enoch Burke was a teacher who ignored the nature and effect of the lawful decision of the school's Board of Management to suspend him on pay pending the outcome of the disciplinary process. Lawyers for the hospital, or for Wilson's Hospital School, told the court there was an attempt by Mr. Burke to say that this case was about his refusal to call a boy a girl. They said this case was not about transgenderism. Mr. Burke said the choice the court had presented to him was that he could be a Christian in Mountjoy or a pagan respecter of transgenderism outside it, and in that case I know where I belong. So he chose not to purge his contempt. Enoch Burke responded, "I will never leave Mountjoy prison if, in leaving that prison, I must violate my well-informed conscience and my religious beliefs and deny my God." High Court granted a further injunction to Wilson's Hospital School preventing teacher Enoch Burke from attending or attempting to teach. Mr. Burke is to be returned to prison until he purges his contempt. He says he'd love to obey the court, but he cannot, so he's to remain in Mountjoy for at least another week. That's the latest on Enoch Burke, the Wilson's Hospital school teacher who is now in Mountjoy, continues to be in Mountjoy prison. There was a disciplinary process commenced in the school with allegations about his conduct and so on and so forth. Obviously, the disciplinary process probably won't be able to go ahead or be concluded perhaps when he's in prison. Clearly, in the interest of fair procedures and natural justice, any disciplinary process would have to have input from the person against whom allegations are made. So I don't know what the school, quite frankly, is going to do in terms of the disciplinary, but they'll probably just adjourn whatever hearing they may have had lined up for next week, because Mr. Burke won't be in attendance. Clearly he'll be in Mountjoy. He will be given another opportunity, I presume, in a week's time to purge his contempt, but his position is very much he's not going to do so. He says he'll never leave Mountjoy prison if, in leaving that prison, I must violate my well-informed conscience, my religious beliefs, and deny my God. The school, on the other hand, and the school's legal team says this is not about boys and girls or transgenderism. The school says this is about conduct and says it's about a disciplinary process in the school which every employer is entitled to carry out, and that they have simply suspended him on full pay pending the outcome of the disciplinary process. So that's where we're at. That's the update. He goes back to prison, back to Mountjoy. Today is Wednesday, the 7th of September, and Mr. Burke is, as I say, returning to Mountjoy and will not purge his contempt. Not today, anyway. Hope you find this video useful, informative, etc., etc. I know this is a case that has excited quite a lot of comment and emotions and so on and so forth. But I'm just keeping you updated, as it were, as to what's going on.